Welcome back to my series, The Bible Doesn't Make Any Sense. Today's episode, Matthew 27, Mark 15, Luke 23, and John 19. The reason why I'm laughing is because I went to go and search up these chapters and study them, and the glaring contradictions are just ridiculous. I feel fucking stupid for sitting in church all these years, listening to them tell the story of Jesus being crucified, and never cracked open the Bible and actually read the 4 accounts of how it happened. So let's start with Matthew. So in Matthew, when they're talking about his death, his last words were, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Which just straight off the bat, I'm like, wait a minute, because this brings back the question of Jesus being the Son of God, but also being God himself, like God in a different form because of the whole like Trinity thing. He knew from the beginning, he was telling other people, I'm gonna be crucified and then I'm gonna resurrect in 3 days. Why is he asking God, why have you forsaken me? Like why? He hasn't forsaken you. This is part of the plan. Did you not know the plan? Let's move on. People are like, he's calling for Elijah, and then they go and get a sponge, they put it in some wine vinegar, and they offer it to Jesus to drink. Jesus lets out a loud cry, and then he gave up his spirit. Now here comes the really stupid part. Right when he died, the earth shook and the rocks split and the tombs broke open. The bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared to many people. What? What do you mean a bunch of other people got resurrected and are walking around the city? What? Like, how did they, why did they, what? I have so many questions. What? But moving on, let's get to Mark. So Mark starts off the same way that Matthew did with Jesus saying, my God, why have you forsaken me? They do the same thing with the sponge and the wine vinegar. They give it to him to drink, and with a loud cry, he breathed his last. No mention of the dead bodies rising up and walking amongst the city. Not even a mention of the earthquake that was in Matthew. I remember being in church and they were teaching us about the death of Jesus and how an earthquake happened immediately after he died. They did not mention the resurrected random people walking around though. And then Mark doesn't mention either an earthquake or people walking around that had been resurrected. So, what? Moving on to Luke. In Luke, his last words are completely different. Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. And when he said this, he breathed his last. Then the people that were watching beat their breast and went away. And that's just it. No wine vinegar on the sponge, no earthquake, no random people rising from the dead and walking around. People just beat their breasts and left. Now let's get to John. In John, apparently Jesus actually says, I'm thirsty, which he does not say in the last 3 accounts of his death. They give him the wine vinegar on the sponge, and then Jesus says, it is finished, and then he dies. Then they start talking about the other 2 people that were crucified and about breaking their legs and taking the bodies down. And they didn't break Jesus's legs, they just pierced his side with a spear. Because apparently this was supposed to line up with some prophecy that was written before in Exodus 12, Numbers 9, and Psalm 34. Again, no earthquake, no random bodies rising from the dead and walking amongst the people. Completely different last words, and now he's pierced in the side. And the last 3 didn't say anything about that. And they broke the other 2 dudes' legs, but then didn't break Jesus' legs to line up with a prophecy. Also, something interesting that I figured out when it comes to the book of John, there's a lot of explanation that comes with the book of John. Like this here, the man who saw it has given his testimony, and his testimony is true. He knows that he tells the truth, and he testifies so that you may also believe. And that sort of explanation is in the book of John a lot. It sounds like they're trying to convince us more than anything else. Yeah, this is true. I got testimonies from Bob over there, and he said he saw it, and his testimony is true. So if Bob says it's true, then it's true. Like, bro, I already did not believe you, but now I really don't believe you. This is nuts. Like I said in the last video, I get it. They wrote these books like decades after Jesus was crucified. But again, they couldn't get together and compare notes. They didn't get his last words right. They didn't get the wine and the sponge right. The random people raising up from the dead. I'm not going to get over that because what the fuck? In one account, he's pierced in his side, and in the other 3, he's not. In one account, he fills the prophecy of not having his legs broken, and the other 3 don't even mention anything about legs being broken. This is just laughable. How did I believe this? I feel fucking dumb. Contradictions are so ridiculously like, are we watching the same crucifixion? Like, what happened?